Galana Wildlife Conservancy is a buffer zone. It is the last piece of the Savo ecosystem before the populated agricultural areas. Within it, it holds all of the iconic East African flora and fauna, with the exception of rhino. Its natural beauty, its potential to be a safe area for wildlife is apparent, it's crucial, it's the reason our board are passionate about what we do. It's the reason our scouts are passionate about what we do. It's just one of those places that could be lost in the blink of an eye. And if we didn't just try and save it, we've no hope to save it in the future. At the moment, we have 2 corporals and 5 scouts. An important part of our daily routine is watching out for snares, anything that might indicate bushmeat poaching, and patrols are done daily to see if there's illegal grazers that we have to go and deal with. One of the initiatives that we started 3 years ago involved use of camera traps. Camera traps allow us to monitor what happens in the Conservancy. It allows us to monitor the nocturnal activities of some of our resident wildlife. When we put out the camera traps, it always is a little bit tricky because you're putting them in areas, for example, where lions may be coming into a kill. So when you're putting them out, you have to be very aware of the dangers. It's always quite interesting, I suppose would be the best word.
Brooksy, move up onto that hill and look down that lugger for me, please.
And yeah, it's a bit of an adrenaline rush at times. I suppose one of the most interesting and constant camera traps are the sightings of striped hyenas. And 6 years ago, we weren't really sure if they existed in any numbers, but now we know that we have identified over the last 3 years 10 individuals in the area. And that's all through camera traps. When we do get footage, sometimes it's quite dramatic. In one case, 60, 70 elephants, where we set our camera traps at a very low level. And what we ended up with was footage of basically a forest of elephant legs. And through those legs, we were able to see the younger elephants interacting with each other at their level. A buffalo was killed and we put a camera trap up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and at about 15 minutes past 3 there was a leopard, big male leopard, sitting on top of the buffalo. Got some wonderful footage. We had a wonderful interaction during the night of a male and female leopard together mating, again something that you wouldn't normally see. And these are the tiny little insights that you get that you probably wouldn't get if you were physically there in a vehicle. Last week when we were doing some road maintenance, we noticed one lioness on the side of the Galana River. But when we went to investigate, we discovered that, in fact, pride was quite large. We went down to where they were at the edge of the river, and they began to cross. And as they crossed, one after the other came into view. We discovered that, in fact, there were 11 that crossed over and went up onto the far bank of the river. And that's quite an amazing sight, to see that amount of lions together, healthy, strong. To see them crossing a river is an extra unusual element to it. But it's also wonderful for us to see, from a conservancy point of view, that the lion prides are coming in and out of Savo East as a normal part of their routine or their patrols. It shows us, and it makes us more passionate about keeping our scouts on patrol, keeping all the infrastructure in place in order to maintain the area to be suitable and to be available to the wildlife that come out of Savo East. So while we try save it now, we do so hoping that those that follow us will continue to save it and to keep it wild.